We have some 49ers wide receiver news in the form of a roster transaction. And no, it is not Brandon Aiyuk getting traded to the Steelers. It is something else. It is actually involving something that we saw yesterday when, after practice, Robbie Anderson was out on the field working out. And as a result of that workout, the San Francisco 49ers have signed the veteran wide receiver, what appears to be a one-year deal. So, what we've also heard about this is Robbie Anderson had multiple offers and he chose the San Francisco 49ers. So, apparently, Robbie Anderson has options and he wanted to go to a place where he could have an immediate impact. Well, if the 49ers were moving forward with Brandon Aiyuk, Debo Samuel, Juwan Jennings, it doesn't sound like you would really have an immediate impact for Robbie Anderson. So this will continue to be something that we monitor moving forward and probably is somewhat related to the Brandon Aiyuk situation. But let's take a look at what Robbie Anderson has done in the league up until this point. We do know Robbie Anderson is a veteran. He just turned 31 about 2 months ago. So he's on the other side of 30. However, he's 6'3, 190 pounds, and he moves pretty darn well. He is a former undrafted free agent who signed on with the New York Jets in 2016 out of Temple. He spent he spent 4 seasons with the New York Jets where he did pretty well. He was able to really solidify himself, make a name for himself in the league. He was able to produce. I mean, as a rookie, he had 587 yards in the sophomore campaign. In 2017, he put up 941 yards and 7 touchdowns. So he's been a pretty consistent producer for the most part. In 2018, he had 752 yards, 6 touchdowns. 2019, he had 778 yards with 5 touchdowns. And then in 2020, with his first year with Carolina, on 95 receptions, he had nearly 1,100 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. And it's kind of been trending downhill from there. In 2021, 519 receiving yards on 53 receptions for 5 touchdowns. And since kind of 2020, where he started the year on Carolina, went to Arizona, he only had 282 yards that season with 1 touchdown. And then last season with Miami, really did not see much of an opportunity. However, when you look at his stat line, he had 4 receptions for 126 yards and a touchdown. Now, 4 receptions isn't great, but a 31.5 yards per catch average is pretty solid. It's pretty much double his average throughout his career. Obviously, 4 catches is going to skew that answer quite a bit. But in regards to Robbie Anderson, again, like I said, I was able to see him yesterday. It was one of the more quicker workouts that I'd ever seen. It was actually a very interesting workout and very different from the workouts that we typically see. And I wonder if that is due to his veteran status, because just as Robbie Anderson was working out, they also had a DB group workout. So there's 3 DBs. They wear these yellow jerseys to kind of indicate that they're workout players. They go through a bunch of drills, they go through a bunch of warm up, like they really work them out. With Robbie Anderson, it was just like he was dapping up people. They bring out Tanner Mordecai. He runs a couple routes, and that was it. It was literally a 5-minute workout. It was one of the more it was one of the more wild workouts I've ever seen. Just because after watching it, it felt like they were like, we just need to see that you can move. And if you can move, we're going to sign you. And here we are. Robbie Anderson has been signed. And again, what does it mean for the Brandon Aiyuk situation? Like you said, when you hear Robbie Anderson say that he has multiple offers, he wanted to go to a team where he can have an immediate impact. That kind of almost kind of reiterates where the 49ers and Brandon Aiyuk currently are. with this situation. So, is this a good move? Is this a good signing? I don't think it's a bad one. I think, Robbie Anderson has obviously uh, been a producer in this league. He can play the X position, the same position that Brandon Aiyuk plays. And, with Ricky Pearsall dinged up and, a couple injuries that are starting to pile up, it's not a terrible move. It's not, an earth-shattering move, but you can see the logic. You can see how he would fit. He's coming from Miami, which is a Mike McDaniel system, which is chip off the old Kyle Shanahan tree. So you would have to assume that he would understand the scheme, he would understand the concepts, he would be able to fit right in. So I don't know. You never know how these veterans are going to acclimate, but they do need someone who can separate. And I do think that Robbie Anderson can potentially bring that to the table. Obviously, we've seen Chris Conley have a really strong camp. Chris Conley's in that same kind of veteran boat as Robbie Anderson. So we'll see. We'll see how it progresses moving forward. But this is the news. The San Francisco 49ers make a wide receiver move. It's just not in the form of Brandon Aiyuk. What do you guys think? Do you think this is related to the Brandon Aiyuk situation? What do you think about the addition of Robbie Anderson? I want to hear from you guys in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.